Hello and welcome to the weekend live stream. Now, this is just going to be a continuation of the one we had on Thursday, more for people who work different shifts or are in different time zones and that kind of thing. So, we're going to be covering a lot of the same things. I do have a little section where I'll do a little bit of Paizo news so that it isn't just totally dedicated to campaign creation, but I'm going to kind of cover here at the beginning just kind of what we're going to be doing in this particular session. So, as I already mentioned, first of all, we're going to be doing a continuation of the live that we had on Thursday for other people. And in this particular case, if you see in the lower right, kind of what we're going to be doing, which is discussing the adventure size, which is kind of determined, and then talk about adventure theme. Now, I do have an idea for how we're actually going to decide this adventure theme, so we'll get to that. But after we discuss that, or kind of maybe before we discuss that, there's a couple things I wanted to say. First of all, we did hit 200 videos on Sunday, last Sunday, in about 7 months. Hey, Nurgles, how's it going? So one of the things I do want to do is I kind of wanted to thank everybody. I didn't want to make the live about this, so I didn't necessarily have, hey, Raven's Path again. I didn't want to make this about giveaways or that kind of thing, but to kind of celebrate and to thank everybody for watching and to thank everybody for participating in the channel and the chat. And now we have a Discord up, which I'll get to in a second. I wanted to give kind of something back. So one of the things I'm going to do is on Thursday, I gave away a gift certificate to Paizo. So today I'm going to be giving away a gift certificate to Pathfinder Infinite. So the reason why I'm putting this in chat, I'm going to spam it a few times as I go through this, is if you could just type this into the chat, only because I can't see a list of the people who are in the chat necessarily. All I can see is people who do actually type in. I don't have a list of the viewers in any way, shape, or form. So at the end of this, I will wind up giving away a $20 gift certificate to Pathfinder Infinite. Thank you, Nurgles. I will go ahead and maybe put your name on, and you, Raven's Path, too. I'll put your name on a list, and we'll kind of do a little drawing on Path Builder. I'll use the dice thing on Path Builder. It's something that everybody knows and knows that I'm not gaming it or anything along those lines. And that way we can definitely get that out to someone. Now, for Pathfinder Infinite, the thing that is different from Paizo is Paizo gives you a code to distribute, and I already gave that to Kojo. Kojo was the one who won on Thursday. Now, for Pathfinder Infinite, I need to send it to an email address. So what I will do is I will go ahead and put this on. I'll type it in here too. So this is my email. And what I will do is if you email me, heck, you can create a, throwaway Gmail account if you don't want to give out personal information, which I totally understand. But I need that in order to get the Pathfinder Infinite gift certificate to you. So that's going to be, like I said, I'll be putting this little type win in the chat a couple times during this live stream so that I can get a list of people. So right now I have Nurgles and I have Raven's Path. The other thing I would like to do is talk about is we have a Discord up. Now, the reason why we did the Discord, and I wasn't necessarily going to do it until we got a little bit bigger. However, for this campaign creation, it's probably going to be one of the most effective ways in order to discuss things that aren't comments on YouTube. And it's actually been really active. I don't even want to say surprisingly, because I don't want to say surprisingly, but it is fantastic that people are going to it. And exactly, Raven's Path, I have some good ideas. One of the things, and I'm going to switch to different layout real quick, but I'll switch back, is I have a whole bunch of ideas for adventure theme that came off of Discord just in conversations, and people are contributing, and I've gotten DMs on Discord requesting if people could access it in order to, and I love this idea, just so everybody's aware of, one person has their own Discord where it's like a looking for group, looking for players type Discord. Of course we can link to that. Now, if you do want to add a link, I'd prefer if you DM me first. This is linked to other Discord servers and stuff like that. So sure, we're cool with it and that kind of stuff, because I don't want links going everywhere. But please feel free to join. It is where we are going to be doing a lot of the discussion, and I'll go ahead and kind of bring it up here just for a second. Like I said, we're getting a bunch of members in just a couple days. There's a lot of things going on. We do have, once again, I'm showing kind of moderation thing, but that's fine. We have, there's a lot of discourse going on, a lot of chatting going on, and I'm loving it. I absolutely love the contributions from everybody, and I like getting the ideas out there. And we're probably going to be doing some planning on there. To that end, at the end of this particular chat, or the end of this particular live stream, I'm going to go ahead and get on the chat in the voice channel. I will get onto the one that most people are on, generally speaking. But the one I'm thinking about getting on for the voice channel is probably the campaign creation chat. But immediately after this, I'll get on there and we can discuss some ideas if anybody wants to, or heck, just talk. Matter of fact, after the last one, the last live on Thursday, I got on there and I had a good conversation with Ferris412, and that's where we got one of the ideas for the Discord, which was a Saving Private Ryan rescue type situation. Oh, yeah, that's fine. But talked about that for about a good half an hour. So I'll be on there and we can go ahead and discuss some things. Now, those two things being said, one of the things I want to talk about is how we're going to kind of decide a campaign theme. So let's go ahead and switch back. I've been doing a lot of switching back and forth. So if we go ahead and switch back, we have a whole bunch of ideas. I have an extra bullet point in here. So we basically have 5 here from the channel comments that we had during the week, and then a bunch of ideas off Discord. So what I'm going to do, I believe, is, as opposed to deciding in the chat, because once again, that is dependent on people being available and for time. What I believe I'm going to do is, in the YouTube community posts, you can create polls kind of up to 5. And it looks like we have 5 from each. So I will do 2 polls. And in those 2 polls, we'll go ahead and put the Rebellion, Escape, Siege, Rebuilding, Preventing Anarchy, Wasteland Reclamation. I'm going to include the vote counts, or the times they were mentioned. It's not vote counts. I'm going to include the times they were mentioned in the adventure theme. And for Discord ideas, I'll go ahead and kind of put these up. And we can vote on which particular theme we want to go into. And then we can start discussing the country that we're going to be setting it in. Once again, on the Discord itself, a lot of the ideas had a little bit more pinpoint actual themes and story and even locations. And we can do that without a doubt. But we're still going to not necessarily pick a specific location until we get to that particular point. So then we can do it in 2 tiers. We'll do 1 vote for channel comments and 1 vote for Discord ideas, and we'll see how that goes. And actually, we won't even see how that goes. That will be pretty much how we decide. We'll pick the 1 from the channel comments. We'll pick the 1 from the Discord ideas, basically the winner of the particular poll. And then we can do a final poll on those 2 ideas, and that will be the theme that our adventure is going to be. Now, let's talk a little bit about the size. So this is an updated poll from just before this live. I kind of removed the old picture and took another screen capture of the current one. So this was the poll we had earlier in the week as far as an adventure size. Large adventure 1 to 5. Basically, I'm going to categorize all these as a small adventure. It looks like the main thing that people are looking for is 1 to 3. A full adventure path got a significant amount of votes, and I don't want to discount that. However, as a learning experience, hey, Daniel, how's it going? Let me go ahead and put this. Once again, I think I said I'm going to be spamming this in the chat a little bit. Daniel, we're doing the Pathfinder Infinite giveaway. So we have entries. We have 2 entries already. So feel free to throw yourself in there. And I see you, so I'm going to put you in there anyways. But this is just, I'm just putting this in the chat. So once again, anybody who's coming on, so I can see who the people are who are actually on the chat, since I don't have a list. Anyways, a full adventure path is a little bit further down on the list. So what we can do, actually what I was thinking is if this particular campaign creation thing is good, maybe we do this again using this as a learning experience, but maybe when the Tianjia Lost Omens book comes out in a little bit, maybe we take our learnings from this particular campaign creation and do a full adventure path based in Tianjia. It's an idea, something that we could do, but it looks like we're going to be doing basically a small adventure. I'm going to, in my head, keep it or be thinking 1 to 3, but we'll do it how the story tells us to go. And here are my thoughts on that. So basically, we're going to plan for this particular campaign creation to be 1 to 3 levels. Now, we're going to be designing monster encounters. We're going to be designing subsystems, be it a chase, infiltration, if that's what we decide to do. But there'll be various things that are occurring. We'll be keeping tally with encounter budgets and what the XP should be for each one of these things, including subsystems, including XP that they should be getting for, the PCs should be getting for disarming traps, dealing with a situation diplomatically as opposed to with combat. And then we can determine the level of the campaign. So it could be, the thought is to keep it 1 to 3 levels, but it can be 1 to 2, it can be 1 to 5, but we'll keep it in line with the story that we're going to do. Hey, how's it going? Some random guy. By the way, just so you know, I got the Save It Private Ryan rescue thing on there too, and we're going to be discussing that. So that is what we're going to be doing for adventure length. Our adventure length is going to be a 1 to 3 level adventure. So that's going to be something that is probably going to be, it depends on the GM and it depends on the player. So I don't want to necessarily, it's hard to define that, but I'm assuming it's going to be anywhere from 6 to 10 sessions, 3-hour sessions. That's the type of adventure we're going to be building. It's not going to be a one-shot where you just sit down and you're done in 4 hours, like a scenario from Pathfinder Society, but it's going to be a multiple session adventure is what we're going to be making. Hey, Kojo, how's it going? It's absolutely no problem. I appreciate you showing up. And we're going to be talking about what we talked about on Thursday, which was the channel comments, which hadn't changed, and then some of the ideas that came up from the Discord. And we're going to be voting on that throughout the week in order to get down to our ultimate winner, and kind of like a bracket type system. Based on the bracket will be channel comments and the other bracket's going to be Discord ideas. All that being said, let's go ahead and get into the ideas a little bit. So kind of what we talked about once again on Thursday. In the comments, we had a bunch of different themes, and that's kind of what I'm going for right now is themes. Because what we can do is we can pick the theme. I am so in on Tianjia. Well, Sly's a kitsune, and that's where they're from. So yeah, I'm all down for that. When we talk about the channel comments, we basically had some themes coming in, and the themes, there's 2 ways you can do a campaign creation. You can decide on a story and then pick, or you can decide on a region and then pick the story to match the region, or you can decide on the story and then use the story to pick the region. We're doing the second one, which is deciding on the story first, or the theme of the story, and then use that to determine the country, city, region that we're going to be actually doing the adventure in. So here are the general broad themes from what we got in the YouTube channel comments. So rebellion came up twice, and that could be anything from liberation, rebelling against oppressors, anything along those lines. Escape. And to me, we'll talk about here in a second, is this got a lot of these can be combined into a overall theme. We got 1 vote for a siege. Siege could be very interesting. We got another one for rebuilding, preventing anarchy, which in truth to me kind of fits in with the first 2. And I had if you watch the first one, either live or video on demand, I kind of came up with a little story about that, and I might do about that. Stopping a rebellion. That fits into the rebellion theme. That is definitely something that we could do. And it is 100% part of what we could do. Sorry, you'll see that sometimes I look over here when I'm talking. It's because I have the chat window up over to the left. So if I'm doing that, I'm talking to a chat window. And then the last one was Wasteland Reclamation. And Kojo was everybody. I mean, some random guy, Daniel, Kojo, Raven's Path was on that one where we talked about the Captain Planet thing. Oh, you could do a whole team of kineticists. We came up, I believe it was Kojo came up with the idea to do kineticists with a heart element because that's what Captain Planet had. And you could do a Monster of the Week type campaign with that. But that's Wasteland Reclamation. The specific comment was about a Captain Planet type adventure. So I thought that was super interesting. The power is yours. Yep. I love that. But that would really be an episodic Monster of the Week type theme. And I love that idea. I don't know if it's something I'd want to do. Well, because that is truthfully not I can't see us having enough teeth to it to doing a group project. So it's probably not something we're going to be doing on this one. But I love that idea. Then here are the new things. And I liked some of these a lot. I had a good talk with some random guy after the live last time, and we were talking about this Saving Private Ryan rescue type thing where you have a member. You could even say you're contracted by a faction. You could say you're contracted by Pathfinder Society. How about a Legends of the Five Ring story, but with kineticists? You could 100% do something like that. That's an interesting thought. But along the Saving Private Ryan thing, you could be part of or have someone from some faction, Pathfinder Society, whatever, contract you to go save someone, or it could be someone who was part of your party. And in this case, it would be an NPC for the player characters. But you could follow along with that general theme where you have to locate and try to save this person. Once again, it is more, Save It Private Ryan is a specific example, but in general, it's a rescue type theme, which is a fantastic theme to have. It allows you, it does two things at the same time, which is kind of odd, at least in my head. It allows you to, I say allow, because some people don't like it, some people do. Yes, it does. Daniel, I see what you're saying with making the party part of a faction war. Yes, it does. It allows you to, I say allow. It depends on what you like. You can take this and even not even having to do with our campaign creation, it's how the GM plays it. It allows the GM to railroad because you leave clues to certain locations in order to work on the rescue. Or if you want to make it longer, you can do a nice free-form, almost hexploration type system in order to do this. In order to find clues, in order to go to certain locations, so there's various things you could do with a rescue. And I love that idea. And once again, these are just things that I'm coming up with off the top of my head. Once we actually start getting into a conversation on some of the Discords on trying to pin down a story, these are just things I thought of. You guys are going to come up with some fantastic ideas that I never thought of. As a matter of fact, even on this chat, you already have. Then we have the Apocalypse. So Apocalypse, most of these came from Mad Dog. And I love that. A lot of these stories are very specific, but the general themes can 100% work. Some of them might work better in other systems. I say that way. Some systems are themed to this. Pathfinder could 100% be themed to this. So don't think I'm saying it can't be done in Pathfinder. It 100% can be done in Pathfinder. But like, there's one of them, like a zombie apocalypse survival. That sounds really Mork Borg to me. But it can be done in Pathfinder 100%. So some of the things that came up, Hope Finder. I have that back here. I have my little Hope Finder things here. I participated in that little Kickstarter or backer kit, I think is when I actually got onto it. But I haven't even had the time to crack the covers yet on these yet. I really want to, though. I forgot about Hope Finder. Thank you, Raven's Path. That's actually fantastic. So for that type of story, Daniel, what this is Jason Bullman put out a Pathfinder 2nd edition adjacent, uses the same rule set, but this is basically this is the survivor's guide or like a player's handbook and a narrator's guide or a GM handbook this is a zombie apocalypse book. So this is Jason Bullman's actually good. Hey, Careshed, it's going pretty good. And we're talking about it now. We're going over the adventure themes, but zombie apocalypse, we actually have a blueprint for it in something like this. Thank you, Raven's Path. I totally forgot about that. And I even have the books. I'm going to, once again, spam it in the chat. Apologize for spamming, but, and I'll say really quickly, to thank everyone. We hit 200 videos, to thank everyone for contributing and watching and putting the comments and all other kind of stuff in. In this particular live, I'm giving away a $20 gift certificate to Pathfinder Infinite. On Thursday, I gave away a $25 gift certificate to Paizo. And Kojo was the one who won that. Congratulations, Kojo, again. And I just want to give back. So I'm doing this. I'm just going to spam this simply because I can't see who's in the chat. I can only see who responded. So this way, at the end, I can do this. We'll get on Path Builder, and and then we'll get on Path Builder, roll some dice, and that'll be the winner. And I will email them the gift certificate to Pathfinder Infinite. So, where were we? So the other, isn't a zombie apocalypse and Pathfinder just go together? Yes, it is. Thank you, Careshed. I would have, in truth, if you do contribute, I'm going to see your name, so I'll include you anyways. But it is helpful to have the win in there. So we have World Apocalypse, we have Zombie Apocalypse, a Kaiju, which is very anime, but it's basically monsters. Think Godzilla, Mothra, these type of things. An apocalypse, and the specific example was you aren't in the apocalypse, but this is the aftermath. So it's still a survival type element. And thank you, Raven's Path, for bringing that up. But we actually have a blueprint for survival. Wouldn't want to copy this. I was so excited for this, and I feel so bad that I haven't had a chance to really get into it. As Geb Zombie Utopia. It is 100% confusing. But we could do an apocalypse survival theme. Another one was, and then the other, this was a separate one for Mad Dog, but it was an apocalypse aftermath. All fantastic ideas. Then we had another one, and this one came from, I want to make sure I'm giving people credit, because I really do, I'm very big on giving people credit. And I knew this, but I'm on camera, so I forgot. I think it was the Flying Pig. Yep, the Flying Pig. So, and we actually talked about this in comments of a video I did when I first announced we were doing campaign creation. A leveled city. So in this one, he had a very specific example of Muraseth in Southern Garand, which is a catfolk city, but it is very pyramid Egyptian themed, but it is a leveled city where you have high levels, and at the high levels, there's sunlight and walkways, and it's where the rich people live. And as you go further down, the criminal element gets a little bit more involved. And I say criminal element, but it's not necessarily criminal. It is criminal, but they're criminal factions, but these are people trying to survive. Now, some of the factions could be criminals, but a lot of the factions, including the player characters, would choose the faction they want to be in. This is a specific example, but leveled city is the theme. So in the specific example, the player characters could choose the faction that they wanted to be in, and then it could be people trying to survive. You could be the criminals, and it could be an evil campaign. But there are things that you can do, and then you would work on that, trying to bring other themes into it, bringing in overthrowing or bringing up, just trying to rise up to a certain level of it. Nice catfuck dude. Oh yeah, that is the character that is Sly of the Northern Reachers. We actually did a whole... if you look at the live, which is Let's Make a Kineticist, that's who we were making. We were making Sly of the Northern Reaches. So he's kind of like the mascot, I guess, of the channel. So that was a level city. Then we had another vote for rebellion. And this once again got into a little bit more detail. Rebellion was, I'm going through the Discord. We got Rasmussen as well, was another, but that was a specific country with uncovering, dismantling the church state, which fits under the rebellion oppression thing. Geez. I don't want to waste everybody's time by me looking at a screen while you're looking at me look at a screen. But rebellion, the specific example is the Thieves Guild is taken over, or a local monster enclave, something along those lines. And they're continually raiding, sieging the city, which would fit into the siege example up here in the channel comments. So you'd have escape and rebellion against church, school, company that's doing something bad. And I saw the school thing here, or company. You could do it like the industrialized cities, like, you know, the Ford cities from America's past. Or you could do, if you did a school type setting, there are so many pop culture anime references to that. What is it? Danganronpa. There's themes that you could 100% do with that. Oh, okay. I will take a look at that. Let's see if I can. Okay. But once again, this is when we start getting the specific examples, which is another, basically that's going to be next week's live, is when we discuss our specific example that comes through from the polls that we're going to be doing. And then we'll start working on deciding the country or the actual listen. Oh, I gotcha. I see what you're saying, Raven's Path. That's who I was talking to. I said, oh, I got you. Currently running an apocalypse homebrew world with one of the Discord. Really? That sounds super interesting. I like hearing about what other people are playing, especially with homebrew, which is one of the reasons I wanted to do this particular thing, which is a campaign creation. But if you did the school one, you could do, once again, there's so many examples, anime, pop culture, any of those kind of things. Heck, you could even go to the level of, I talked about this in another live, and I forget the name of it, but it is the one with the Greek gods, and you have the kid. It's a movie, American movie. I could waste time. I'm not going to waste time talking. But there are tons of pop culture references for if you want to do it in a school. Then you have this is one of Raven's Path ideas, which is an elemental planar gate incursion, where you could have, especially when you're thinking Percy Jackson. That is exactly what I was thinking of. Thank you, Raven's Path. That would have been bugging me, and I would have remembered it 4 hours later and been like, man, that's what I was talking about. Yeah, but you could do a Percy Jackson type theme. You wouldn't want to pick that specifically because that's IP, intellectual property stuff, but you would have a guideline for it a little bit. And then elemental planar gate incursion, open in a city, and beings were coming through, taking over the city, and whatever the element was has cut off the city, or at least mostly cut it off, so the county government can't help them, and the party has to rebel against the rebel overlords. Rage of Elements just came out. We have Kineticist. There's a whole bunch of information out there in order to handle an elemental planar gate incursion. So that is something that we have a lot of very recent information on, which would also make for a good campaign theme. And you could do that in a bunch of different places. And in truth, even for a reference for that, there are, I don't want to give any spoilers out either, but let's say this isn't a theme, but as far as how you could deal with interacting with elemental planes, in Sky King's Tomb, there's a little element of that. Well, I don't think this is a spoiler necessarily because it was talked about during a live. So, with doors, forge fires, things like that, with the plane of fire, there's a little bit about interacting with beings from other planes. So there is something that we can look on for inspiration or for ideas on how you would interact with them. So you have two books there, High Helm and Rage of Elements, in order to draw information from within the Galarian theme. So that is another really big, good one. And let me go ahead and type this in the chat again. It's again spamming because that's what I've been doing these lives. This is for anybody who came on who hasn't spoken in chat yet. Just type this in the chat. I'm giving away a Pathfinder Infinite $20 gift kit to thank people for participating in these lives and participating in the channel and just watching. And we have Discord up now, which I'll go ahead and include a link to that too. And which is where we're going to be doing a lot of the maybe conversations and idea discussions and things like that for this campaign creation coming up. So feel free to join. It's actually been pretty active so far, which I'm enjoying a lot and super thankful for. But that is so that at the end of this particular live, we're going to go ahead and draw that. And one thing I will say for Pathfinder Infinite, I kind of said it at the beginning, but just to remind everybody, I gave away the Paizo one on Thursday. Paizo gives you a code, so super easy to give out. Pathfinder Infinite, when you buy the gift certificate, it has to go to an email address. So I do have, I'll type it in again real quick. Make sure it's typed correctly. Yep. You can create a bogus email on Gmail real quick or whatever. It kind of doesn't matter, but you'd have to email me so that I can include that when I send out the Pathfinder Infinite winning thing. So these are the adventure themes that we've kind of come up with, making sure that no new ones came up on the Discord, which they haven't. So once again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to include 2 polls. I'm going to put one out tomorrow morning, and I'm going to put one out Monday. The one tomorrow morning is going to be channel comments with these 5. The ones on Monday morning are going to be these 5. And then the winners of those 2 polls will go into a poll. Probably a good day for that would be Thursday, therefore to give, I'm sorry, not Thursday, not even that at all. Because I want to give enough time before the live on Thursday for people to vote. So Tuesday, we'll put a 3rd poll out, which will be the winner from channel comments and the winner from Discord ideas. In the event of a tie, I'll include both. And then we'll basically bracket it that way, and then we can choose. Once again, we do have Rebellion up here and Rebellion down here. So I'll make sure to allow for that. But don't let that weigh your decision when you're choosing Discord versus channel comments. They are going to be entirely separate polls on entirely separate days, if that makes sense. I hope it makes sense. It kind of makes sense to me. But I want to make sure that kind of everybody's voices are heard. The other thing I will say is I'm going to get on Discord within a few minutes of this live ending, going into this little campaign creation chat down here. And we could talk about stuff, talk about your ideas, talk about what you want to do. Once again, that's where the whole Saving Private Ryan rescue thing came from. I was talking to some random guy about it. So that is our ideas for the particular session that we're going to have. It is a very good, I think it's a good way to come up with it. We do have, if you go into the other live, one thing I didn't want to do is I don't want to make this too long because it is People's Saturdays, but we do have a World Anvil is where we're going to be doing that, a lot of the information from it. And as we develop this, what I'm going to start doing is start putting stuff on World Anvil, and that'll be part of the live next week where I kind of show where you would ask permission to be added to it. If you want to actively participate it, we'll go ahead and put you into World Anvil so that you can look at it. There is a public facing thing. If you don't want to necessarily participate, but you just want to see where everything is, the public facing one doesn't allow you to edit or do anything. You can just view what's published. If the access to the back end will allow you, and there's permission settings, so no one can go in and wipe everything out and do it. I'll make sure the permissions are set correctly. But that way, if you want to be a little bit more participatory in the campaign creation, that will allow you to do that. We can keep everything organized, keep everything together. Once again, we'll be showing that on Thursday, next Thursday, during the live. And my thoughts are we'll be doing a lot of the conversations on Discord in the chats, And then the Thursday lives will be more giving status reports. My initial thought was to basically have a chat on live here. The problem, first, there's two problems I have with that. Number one is I had a difficult time figuring that out. I can do a bunch of things with audio, but I couldn't get Discord audio to pipe in any real way that would work and that was audible. And then the second thing is I don't want the chance of bad actors coming in and doing anything. I want the channel to be as inclusive, as family friendly-ish. Once again, we're dealing with a combat simulator type game, so it's only going to be so family friendly. But I don't want somebody coming in and messing with people on a live with something that can't be edited. Now, we might have scheduled conversations on the Discord. And if that's the case, with everybody's permission who is on that particular chat, I might record those and send that out as a video. It'll be a lot. If you've been on Discord chats, people can share screens and those kind of things. So it'll be a video where I'll show where we are in the progress as we're discussing and this kind of stuff. But I'm only going to do that with everybody's permission. It won't be live. It'll be recorded. So that is my thought on how we're going to be working on this as we go up. Those particular chats will start after next Thursday's live. Once we determine well, we already have determined the size, but once we actually pick the theme, that's when we'll start having those really planning heavy discussions. And then immediately after this live here, once again, I'll be on the chat. So with all that being said, once again, I wanted to make sure that this wasn't too long, simply because it's everybody's Saturday and I don't want you sitting at your computer if you don't have to. But I'm going to include this one more time, spamming everybody again. Just if anybody came on. And I am going to start typing in names. So, of everybody who has typed in win. So, Nurgles is on there. Raven's Path is on there. Daniel's on there. Some random guys on there. Kojo already won. Karashet. And make sure I didn't miss anyone. I want to make sure I don't miss anyone. Just saw something. Okay, that was me typing in the chat. Okay, so all that being said, let me bring up Path Builder. I am glad you won. I really am. Especially with the new remaster coming out. That'll help offset that book. Some random. I know I was talking to someone. And it's like, and you say, yeah, I was talking, talking to one of my live friends about the Saving Private Ryan thing, and it's Ferris, and he's actually on here. But I was like, yeah, so I was talking to some random guy, and he's like, what do you mean by some random guy? I'm like, oh, no, that's actually his name. And so it's kind of funny. So we have 5. So we'll assign. Oop. Once again, I said this last one, I'll say it again. I can actually type, and I'm pretty darn good at it. But when you are live and have a camera put in your face, everything becomes massively harder. So, there that is. We are going to use the dice roller. This is going to be for who wins. So 1 through 5 is what we have. Make sure we have nobody else that came up in chat that I missed, because I don't want to miss anything. I want to make sure that I'm being totally fair. Win. Making sure that some random guy, did anybody show up that didn't? Nope, it looks like everybody who showed up typed in win. Use a D10. Good point. So this is going to be... You are much smarter than I am, Nurgles. Eight. So this is the roll for the winner. The winner, Nurgles, you are the winner. So once again, for Path Builder or Pathfinder Infinite, I need you to send me an email at theSlyStrategist@gmail.com. Oh, is it Kershat? Oh, I typed it wrong. You are right. I doubled this. Okay. I am going to beg the favor of the group. I want to make sure this is fair and everybody knows what's going on, because that what I did didn't even make sense. Okay, give it to Karashet. Thank you, Nurgles. So Karashet, you are the winner of this particular draw. I feel so bad. That's awful. Mainly because I typed it wrong. You know what I'm going to do? Here's what I'm going to do. Nurgles and Karashet, it is my fault. You're both going to get a $20 thing. Nurgles, please email me. And Karashet, please email me. And you're both going to get a $20 gift certificate to Pathfinder Infinite. To me, that's the only thing that seems fair since I screwed up. And that's how we're going to play it. So, Karashet, both of you guys are the winners, so congratulations to both of you. And it's totally fine. Don't even worry about it at all. So that is how we're going to go with winning or running that particular drawing. Thank you, everybody, for showing up. And let me go ahead and switch back. One other thing, I'm going to go ahead and put this up here one more time in the chat. Is immediately after, well, not like I said, not immediately. I'm going to go let my dogs out real quick for 5 minutes. So when this chat is over, I'm going to go, of course, Raven's Path, absolutely no problem. When this chat is over, what I'm going to do is I am going to jump on Discord. And if anybody wants to talk, feel free to jump on. I'll be on there for, I'll be on there for a bit. And then we can discuss ideas, talk about various things, do whatever you want, but I'll jump on there after this. And I hope to see some people there. And that's, I guess, the stream for today. So all that being said, hey, thank you everybody for showing up. Congrats to Karashet and congrats to Nurgles as well. I hope you guys have a great day and happy adventuring. Thank you very much. Bye.